All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 players that I feel like are having kind of underrated seasons. 6 players I feel like are having good years, but really aren't being talked about enough. I feel like should be talked about a little bit more here in today's video. That's what we're doing. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. We're very close to 800 subscribers. So if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. It'd really be appreciated. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Links to my Twitters, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So I picked out 3 players from the East, 3 players from the West. And this it just kind of happened to work out that way. But our first player we're starting with is Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero has been absolutely amazing this year for the Heat, having an all-star like a realistically all-star like year. He's having a career year, averaging career highs in points, assists, and efficiency. He's averaging almost 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's shooting 51% from the field, 48% from three, 83% from the free throw line. His last game, last I want to say what Friday? No, today's Friday. It was on Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. I forgot one of those days. Dropped 40 points with 8 assists, had 4 steals. He was absolutely incredible in that game. Fortunately, it went to waste because they lost in overtime to Detroit. But Tyler Hero has had a fantastic season this year. You know, the Miami Heat have been not very ideal this year. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo both are not having really good seasons. And so Tyler Hero has really stepped up and has been the best player on the Miami Heat this season. He has been. Every time the Heat are in a close game or need something to go on the offensive end, I feel like Tyler Hero is the one that's going to deliver it. You know, Tyler Hero has been the one that's been hitting the big shots, taking the big shots, finding his teammates. You know, whenever the Heat needs something, I feel like Tyler Hero on the offensive end, at least, it's been Tyler Hero the one that has been doing it for them. You know, when you have your 2-star players struggling, you need someone to step up, and Tyler Hero has been the guy that stepped up and has been great this season. You know, he just looks a lot more comfortable. He looks a lot more controlled as well. Even though I'm not saying he wasn't controlled before, he's always been a very smooth, scorer. But it just feels like this year he's taken another level. You know, I feel like he's taking a next step that we've been waiting for kind of for Tyler Hero for the last couple of years. He has been dealing with a lot of injuries the last few years, and it just kind of felt like Tyler Hero. This is kind of like, all right, this is who Tyler Hero is. You know, he's a 20-point scorer that's gonna probably be a 6-man that can handle the ball a little bit, but we don't really know. This year he's taking the next step. It just feels like he knows what he wants to do with the ball all the time. He knows what he's gonna do. He knows how to get his shot. He knows, 3-point shot has really been great. You know, he's been a guy that also has a life to live in a mid range, but this year he's taking almost 10 threes per game. So he's, he's taking a lot more threes and he's knocking them down at a higher clip, which is more buckets, which is more points for the Miami Heat. He just looks a lot more controlled. Looks like he knows where he wants to go, knows how he likes to score. The playmaking has taken a little bit of a jump too. You saw that last year as well in the Boston Celtics series in the playoffs. That the playmaking has taken a jump, and he just has been it for the Miami Heat. He has been it. Miami Heat. If Tyler Hero didn't take this jump from Miami, who knows where they are right now? You know, right now they are not doing great. They're sitting at 4-6, ninth in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, he has been really, really, really good, and really, truly deserves All Star buzz. Like truly deserves All Star buzz. And honestly, if he can stay about like in the play-in or play late playoffs, like he definitely has a good shot at making it this year. Next guy I want to talk about Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic, staying in Florida, going to the other side. Franz Wagner has been great for the Magic, especially in the last about 4 or 5 games. Well, after Paolo gone out, they went a little bit of losing streak, but now the Magic are back to winning games, and a lot of that thanks to Franz Wagner. Franz has been great. So far this year, he's having career highs in points, and assists, and steals. He's averaging 21.5 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 5 assists and 1.5 steals on 47, 33, 83 shooting splits. Looking at his game log, he was good with, he did have a couple games where he was dealing with sickness and illness, so he didn't play for a little bit. But look at the last 6 games for Franz on the Orlando Magic. He's averaging almost 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, while shooting 46% from the field. He's had 20 more in the last 6 games. They're 4-2 of those games. They're currently on a 4-game winning streak. On this 4-game winning streak, he's averaging 28, 5, and 6. So it's just he's been really, really good. Not just a scoring. We know how good he is scoring, especially getting to the basket, getting to the mid range. 3-point shot has been a little bit on and off. Last year he had a pretty tough shooting year. This year, it's been better. It's still the percentage wise isn't amazing, but he looks a lot more confident shooting the three. But also the playmaking. The playmaking has been there. He's had 5 or more assists in each of the last 6 games. And out of the 13 games this year, he's had 5 or more assists in 9 of them. So the playmaking has really been there. It's not just been him having to drop 30 points every game for them to win. He's also been getting others involved as well. He's also been getting everyone else involved, which is a big thing because, again, without Paulo, it's going to be, it's going to be an everyone thing. It can't just be one person stepping up. It's got to be an everybody type of thing. And Franz is not only scoring, but he's also helping everybody get involved as well. The playmaking has really gotten better. And Franz has been really, really good. The Magic are slowly riding the ship. Right now, they're currently 7-6, sitting at third in the Eastern Conference right now, and that's a lot of that. Franz Wagner, especially in the first half. The first half of games, Franz Wagner comes out, hot with like 15 to 20 points in the first half, and the second half, that's when everybody gets involved, and he uses scoring as playmaking as well. So yeah, Franz has been really, really, really good this year, and if the Magic stay on top of this Eastern Conference and Paolo might not be able to play, you know, uh, enough to warrant an all-star spot, Franz Wagner definitely could take that all-star spot right there. Franz Wagner definitely could be a really good replacement for Paulo in that all-star game because, man, has he been really, really good throughout the last couple games. And the last person we talk about from the Eastern Conference before we move over to the West is Zachary Versace, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. Versace has had probably, I mean, I've said it a couple of times here, and you probably know this already, but probably one of the most least hyped number 1 picks we've seen in a very, very long time. Rookie of the year ratings and stuff. He wasn't even really one of the top guys in terms of rookie of the year or anything like that. And so far this year, he's not having an eye-popping statistical season. Statistically, it's all right. Not looking amazing, but watching him on the court, I like what I see. He might not be your typical number 1 overall pick in terms of he's going to be a 25 point per game scorer or he's going to be an all-star, all-NBA, he's going to lead your franchise. No, but that's not what the Hawks drafted him for. They already have Trae Young, Jalen Johnson. The Hawks drafted him to be another piece in their core, another young piece in their core that's going to help out Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. And so far, he's shown signs that he is going to be that. Statistically, he's only averaging 11, 4 and 1, a steal, almost a block. The shooting percentages are not good, 37, 24, 62. But when it turns with rookies, I don't really care about efficiency in terms of rookies, because not every rookie's going to come in and shoot 50, 40, 90 or 50, 40, 80 even. It's going to be an adjustment period in terms of efficiency. They're not going to hit all their shots, but just seeing the traits and seeing what they can potentially be is the big thing. And so far, I really like what I see from Versace of what he potentially can be. He's a guy that I feel like is going to be a really nice, kind of second, third option at a wing position. He's got good size. He's 6'9". He still needs to build a little bit, but he's still only 19 years old. So, he's going to like naturally get stronger and bigger. But on the court, I really like the way that I feel like he kind of already knows what spots to be in. I feel like, watching him, I feel like he never really tries to do too much or tries to be bigger than who he actually is. I feel like he already kind of knows what his role is and already knows what spots to be in. Like, he gets a lot of really solid catch and shoot opportunities. He just isn't making them all the time, but those are good shots. He makes good cuts. He makes good reads on the passes. Defensively, he holds his own. You see some traits there defensively. Like, you've seen some times where he can go get the ball and is not afraid to attack the basket and get to the rim and get to the free throw line. Like, there is a lot of really good things I see from Versace where I'm like, oh, he can do this, or you could see a world where he can do this in the future once he gets more comfortable and once he gets, more adjusted to the NBA game. So for Versace, it's more of a watch him thing. Watch him, and then you're gonna be like, oh shoot, he actually can be able to do this. He is able to do that. He can be this. So I feel like he's on a path to be a really great piece to this Atlanta Hawk team in terms of him with Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. That three, I really like him there. And he's gonna be a guy that maybe he doesn't have the most crazy eye popping numbers or isn't the most fun to watch in terms of games. But I feel like in terms of producing, and in terms of helping your team win, he's going to be one of those guys for the future. And so far this year, he's already been doing that. I mean, he had a game against that game against the Knicks a week or two ago. He dropped 33, 7, 3, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 6 for 10 from three, 11 for 18 from the field, hit big free throws to close out the game. He was great in that game. And he's had games where he's shown, he's like, oh man, like this guy can actually do this thing. And now he's a starter. Now he's a starter on this team. Well, they have had a lot of injuries, but also he's a starter now on this team because he's been getting into the right spots. It's just a matter of, is he going to make or miss the shot, which is going to happen, especially with a 19-year-old rookie. You're probably going to miss a lot more than he makes, you know? But I'm a big fan of Versace so far this season. I really like what he potentially can be for this Hawks team, and I feel like he should get a lot more respect and talking about when it comes to Rookie of the Year races, all that stuff. I think I saw yesterday that the odds have shifted to now he's getting a lot more, he's becoming a lot more of a favorite to win Rookie of the Year, which I think should be the case. I feel like he should be in the top three because I feel like he's had a really good rookie year. It's just the stats and the efficiency isn't going to really back it up as much as maybe some other people. But when you watch him on the court, you can definitely tell this guy's going to be a really good NBA player. Now we're shifting over to the Western Conference. First guy I want to talk about is Christian Braun, man. Christian Braun is having a really realistic MIP type of season. Like, he's been putting together a great season. He's averaging career highs all across the board. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, block, efficiency, shooting. Everything is career year. Obviously, because he's went from averaging 20 minutes to 35 minutes per game, and he's a starter now. But even then, he's having an amazing season, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, almost a steal and a block. He's shooting 55% from the field, 50% from three, 81% from the free throw line. All career numbers. Christian Braun, he's a winning player. Obviously, he came from Kansas where he won a championship as a rookie. He was a regular in the rotation. Last year, he improved on that, became a lot more trusted in the rotation. Now, this year, he's being forced into a starting position because they lost out on KCP. And, a lot of people were kind of questioning it. Like, how is Christian Braun really going to hold up? We know he hasn't really shown the capability of being a consistent three-point shooter. The spacing is going to be messed up. How much can we trust him as a starting two guard? And so far, he's been fine. It hasn't been the prettiest, and it started off a little bit kind of rocky, but the last couple games, he has really established himself, and he has been very, very, very good. He's a winning player. He's a guy that I feel like all playoff teams will want, a guy like Christian Braun. First of all, he hustles and plays his heart out. He knows what it takes to win. Number two, he's going to make a lot of really good decisions. Like, I see him make like 3 or 4 really good cuts per game, he makes really good plays, really smart decisions. He's going to compete on the defensive end really, really well. And now he's become a solid three-point shooter. He's shooting 50% from three. He's only taking 3 per game. It's not like he's out here taking 7 or 8 like KCP would, and not like he's knocking it down like that. And he still probably has a long ways to go for teams to trust him because a lot of his threes definitely are open. If you're on the court with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon, like, obviously you're going to leave Christian Braun open. You're not going to worry about Christian Braun the least, obviously. But him still being able to knock down those shots when he gets them as open is still, more than, like, that's what you could ask for Christian Braun. So yeah, he has been really good. He's having definitely a realistic MIP year. I mean, last year, his points are up by almost 10 per game. His rebounds are up by over 1.5. His shooting percentages are up by 9%, 12%, and 12%. Like, everything has increased dramatically. So he's definitely having an MIP type of season. You watch him on the court, again, you just see the things he brings to this team, the winning aspects. Even the last 3 games, he's had 6 or more assists in each of the last 3 games. That's not even something you really rely on him for, is to assist or make plays, but he has been doing that as well. Like, he's been just doing everything right for this team, especially trying to, he's not going to be KCP. You put him in the lineup, you're not going to replicate what KCP brings in terms of the veteran experience, the three-point shooting, the defense. Like, it's tough to replicate that in the league consistently, But what Christian Braun is doing, as his own player, not comparing him to KCP, but comparing him as his own player, Christian Braun has been really good in terms of cuts, high IQ basketball, competing defensively, giving it his all out there, and knocking down open shots when he gets them. And that's what you can ask. That's what you're asking of Christian Braun, and that's what he is doing right now. So I'm very impressed and excited for Christian Braun. Next guy we're going to is Tari Eason of the Houston Rockets. He's having a really, really good season. I was a big fan of Tari Eason as a rookie with the Rockets. He made all-rookie team. He really impressed me. I thought he can have a long and big career, a Swiss Army knife type of dude. Last year, unfortunately, only played 22 games due to injury. Last year, didn't really get to see him a whole lot. He's back this year, and he's playing really good, averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds and assists, almost 2 steals and a block, while shooting 55% from the field, 36% from three. Having a really, really good season. He's just pure energy off the bench. That's what he is. He's just pure energy, emotion, pure, hustle, just all of that. I mean, he had his breakout game against the Warriors where they were down 31 and he led a comeback. He dropped 27, 9, 4 steals, 3 blocks in that game. Unfortunately, they lost in OT, but he helped lead that comeback. In the last couple games, he's been really good. Looking at his last 5 games, he's averaging 14, 7, almost 2 steals, almost 1.5 blocks, while shooting 55% from the field, 33% from 3. He just comes off that bench and brings so much, in terms of he's going to score. He's not afraid to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim and score that way. The three-point shot is very solid. He's not a lights-out shooter yet, but he's reliable. Reliable to give you a 3 or 2 per game. The rebound, he's going to get in there on the board, especially on the offensive glass. He's only had, out of the 12 games he's played this year, there's only been 2 games where he has not had an offensive rebound. So he's going to get in there and get you an offensive rebound. In that Warrior game, he had 6 offensive rebounds in that game. But he's not afraid to get in the offensive rebounds or the defensive rebounds either, obviously. The defensively, he's going to get steals, he's going to get blocks, he's going to bring so much energy there, he's going to compete. He's got that good size, 6'8", guy that can guard multiple positions, really good on his feet, really athletic, so you trust him on the defensive end. Just a really good quality player, really good quality wing to have on your team, and eventually, I mean, he's not going to be a starter in Houston because they already have Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith. Like, it's tough to put him in that lineup. But man, he's going to play a lot of minutes, and he's a guy that I would just love to leave out in the court because whenever he's on the court, something's going to happen. He's going to be doing something. He's not going to be a guy that's just going to stand around in the corner and wait for his. Like, he's the guy that goes out and gets it. He's going to make something happen, whether it's getting an offensive rebound, whether it's, getting a big dunk, whether it's getting a steal and getting out in transition, whether it's getting a block, whether it's stopping somebody, you put him out there and you trust him. Like, he's going to go out there and do something on this court that's going to be valuable to us. He's going to do something. And honestly, Daniel wanted to put him and a men duo because Tari Eason and Men Thompson, that duo is just amazing. I mean, there's videos about it. You can go watch. But, like, man, those two, they come off the bench and it's pure chaos. They come off the bench and it's pure chaos. They're just everywhere. Energy everywhere. Literally, energy all over the place. Whether it's defensive, it's a defensive duo you don't want to see because they have hands everywhere. Feels like they have 6 hands when they're on the court together. Because those guys are just going to poke everything loose, get every rebound, block every shot, get out in transition, and run all the time. Like, it's pure chaos when those two are around. Like, as an opposing team, you're like, oh, God, here we go. These two are out here on the court again. But Tari Eason specifically, I'm a big Tari Eason fan. So, I really like that Tari Eason's doing. But Amen Thompson also is having a really, really good second season and really establishing himself as the 6th man of the Rockets. But Tari Eason, man, you got to mention him as well because that guy, he has been great. And the last guy I want to talk about is John Collins. Surprisingly, we're talking about John Collins. He's been kind of locked away in Utah where people kind of don't remember him anymore. But John Collins has had a pretty solid season so far. He's giving you 18 points per game, which is the most he's had since 2020 with Atlanta. He's averaging 18 points, almost 8 rebounds, career high in assists with 2.7, career highs in steals with over 1 per game. He's shooting 51% from the field, 37% from 3, and 97% from the free throw line randomly. But specifically, more the last couple of games has been really, really good for John Collins. He's kind of emerged a little bit as one of the best players on Utah. I mean, he's leading the Utah Jazz in scoring this year, Specifically in his last 5 games. His last 5 games, he's giving you 22, 9, and 3 with a steal and a half per game on 59, 41, 100 shooting. Like, he has been really good. He's had 3 20-point games. He's had 2 games of 28, a game of 29 against Phoenix. Last night against Dallas, he gave you 28, 9, and 3 and had the game-winning dunk. Thanks to Luka for that. But John Collins has been really solid for the Jazz this year. I mean, he's knocking down the 3-ball solid. He's hitting his free throw. He's only missed, 1 free throw this season. He's been rebounding the ball at a decent rate. He's been getting his hands active. He's had 2 or more steals in each of the last 3 games. He's just been solid. He's just been solid. And for a Jazz team that's really, really, really bad, John Collins has been one of the bright spots on this year. He's looked solid. He looks confident. He's been hitting his shots. Looking at him on the court, you're like, oh, okay, John Collins. Like he's doing some solid things over there in Utah. In the last few years, he's kind of been forgotten about. And we kind of understand this is what John Collins is. He's having a little bit of a not a breakout season, but he's having a lot better of a season than he has in the past couple years. This is honestly the best he's probably looked since like the 2020 run. Honestly, like he looks a lot more confident out there on the court. He's been playing ball. He's been playing really, really well. He's been knocking out his shots. He's been rebounding. He's been defending at a pretty solid rate, and he's been you can argue he's probably been the best player in the Jazz besides Larry Markkinen, which is really nice to see from John Collins. So maybe if he plays like this the rest of the year, will teams trade for him? I don't know. But it's just nice to see that he's kind of having a little bit of a resurgent season. And yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me down below in the comments below some more, players they feel like are having underrated seasons I didn't talk about in this video. There's a lot of really good players on this list, but these are just the ones I picked. But there's a lot more that I probably could talk about, but we will be here for a couple hours. So yeah, once again, if you like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.